A good position to do this with for men is to have your partner, have this bed right here, have your partner on the edge of the bed, and you could be standing like this. Yeah, baby. The eyebrow is important. Hey guys, I'm Jonathan White. I'm here to help you master your sexual energy so you can manifest your ideal life. If you want to learn more about sexual mastery, make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon to stay notified when I release new videos and go live. Make sure you get my free ejaculation control course through the link in the video description below. In this video, you're going to learn how to screw during sex. That is how to use twisting hip movements to create a very different type of stimulation during sex, which will create much more pleasure for not just for your partner, but for you as well. And men using this movement will help you to really build some sexual endurance. It will help you to last longer during sex while giving your partner more pleasure. And it will also help to open up the entire pelvic area, the pelvic floor, the sacrum area, and basically turn your body into a pump, pumping sexual energy through the body so that you get into these full body states of sexual pleasure. Rather than just feeling pleasure overly concentrated in the penis, you'll be able to feel this pleasure spreading out throughout your entire body by using the natural pumping mechanics of the spine and the pelvis area. Many men get stuck in only using one type of movement during sex. And just this forward thrusting over and over usually begins an inevitable build towards ejaculation for the man if he doesn't know how to control this. So first, I'm going to go onto the ground to show you how to, first of all, feel these movement mechanics of the hips and the pelvis area. This is a great movement that will open up the pelvic region, open up the lower back, release tension patterns from these areas. So it's a great daily practice just for physical health and vitality. Also a great practice for sexual cultivation, experiencing more pleasure, more circulation of sexual energy during intercourse. All right, so we're gonna start on the ground for this movement. This is a Feldenkrais movement that will really help to open up this spiraling action in the hips and the pelvis. It really opens up the sacrum, opens up the hip region. Most guys are pretty tight in this region. Helps to release the lower back as well. It's a really great practice just in general for sexual vitality and overall mobility in the lower body. And it will help you really feel that screwing motion. So you're going to start laying on your side. I'm on my left side, and the head can be resting on a pillow or on your arm or on the palm of your left hand, resting on the elbow here. And then the knees are going to be stacked and out at an angle, not 90 degrees straight forward, but out at a kind of 45-degree angle here. So we're going to focus on the right hip for this movement. So first, just think of moving the right hip forward, moving it backward, forward, and backward. Just do that a few times, just to feel. Come back to center, and now think of moving the right hip up towards your head. So see how I tilts my pelvis upwards? So my right hip's coming closer to my right ear, causing this bit of contraction in the side body. And then think of moving the hip down towards the feet so that it lengthens the side body. So hip comes up towards the head, comes down towards the feet. And just do this a few times just to feel that motion. And now let's combine those two movements. So move the hips forward and down towards your feet, back and then up towards your head. The right hip forward and down, back and up. And we get the spiraling movement, this screwing motion. You'll feel a little awkward at first, but you don't want to necessarily try to have the biggest range of motion. You just want a nice fluidity in the movement. Think of relaxing. Really feel everything that's moving in this area of your body, everything that's moving in your whole body as you do this movement. So you want to do that about 9 to 12 times, and then go the opposite direction. So now I'm back and down, go forward and up with the hips, back and down, forward and up. Do this several times. You might get some adjustments in your spine. It really opens things up. It's a really, really great practice to do every day. It's very calming for the nervous system as well. I got a little pop in my hip there. All right, then we're going to go on to the other side now. So same thing on this side. So angle your knees and just place, so we're going to focus on the left hip now. So you can place your hand on your left hip if you want, Or just think of moving the hip forward and backwards, forward and backwards a few times just to feel that. And then move the hip down towards your feet, up towards your head, straight down and straight up. And just notice the expansion and contraction of the tissues and the muscles in the body as you do this movement. Okay, then combine. So go down and forward, go up and back, down and forward, up and back. Spiraling motion. Make sure you're breathing while you're doing this. Just a feeling of effortlessness and fluidity versus trying to make a really huge movement here. Just want things to be moving. Think of really relaxing into the movement. And then go the opposite direction. So we go down and back and up and forward. All right, so again, spend just a few minutes doing that every day. It will really open up your hip region, the sacrum area, so that you can properly get the screwing technique. Do it for a few minutes in the morning, do it before you go to bed at night. It doesn't take a lot of time, but you will really feel your hips, your lower back, even the pelvic floor region opening up and relaxing from doing this movement. Okay, so now that you've felt it lying down, I highly recommend starting with that, working with that movement practice a few minutes a day just to really get that opening up. And it will help you feel what I'm going to show now, which is how to do it in a standing position. Eventually you'll be able to do this in any sort of position, but this is another great way to learn it. So standing up, place your hands on your hips. And first just think of lifting the left hip, dropping the left hip, the right hip comes up, dropping the right hip, the left hip comes up. So left comes down, right comes up, right comes down, left comes up. So it's this just side to side kind of twisting. And now think of adding this, the forward and backwards direction is going to be a tilting of the pelvis. So think of just the pelvis as like sitting on a ball or rotating like a ball. It rotates forward. The back of your pelvis comes up towards the head, the front lengthens. You rotate the other way. Now the back, the tailbone rotates down, sinks down towards the feet. The front of the pelvis comes up towards the face. So this forward and backwards. If you have any back problems, be very careful with this, of course. And so now let's try doing both of these together. So you drop the left and think of rotating the pelvis, the tailbone coming down as you drop the left. And then hold that forward. So the front of the pelvis is coming up as we drop the left down, and think of now dropping the right down, lifting the left up, rotate the pelvis, lengthening the front of the pelvis, the front dropping down. So the right hip's up. Now think of dropping the right hip, the left hip comes up, rotating forward. So I drop the left hip as I rotate forward. I lift the right hip coming back up, creating this, and then go the other direction. So I think of pushing the pelvis forward as I drop the right hip, or rather think of lifting the left hip and then, so we get this spiraling movement. So it's not an extreme movement of the hips up and down like this. It's this side to side kind of shimmy happening, as well as the front to back, kind of a thrusting type of rotation of the pelvis. But when we do these together, we get this spiraling action, which really opens up the hips, opens up the sacrum, and allows the sexual energy to move throughout the body. Helps to be constantly releasing any tension in the pelvic floor, which would otherwise cause ejaculation for men. And it will also create much more pleasure for both your partner and yourself. It's a very different type of stimulation. A good position to do this with for men is to have your partner, have this bed right here, have your partner on the edge of the bed, and you could be standing like this. Yeah, baby. The eyebrow is important. But you get the idea. And what I recommend is that you practice this in all kinds of different positions. So get into a plank, a missionary type position, practice this rotation of the hips. Lay on your back, practice the rotation of the hips. Both directions, you'll want to go alternate between the two, on your knees, all positions, right? So this becomes a very different type of sexual stimulation, a very different way to move during sex. Most people get stuck in one type of movement and it becomes very boring. It becomes predictable and, sex becomes routine. And also this one plane dimension of, this kind of humping motion that most men do, it actually creates tension. Doing this only one type of movement, it creates tension in the lower back region, in the hips, in the pelvic floor. So being able to last longer during sex is all about keeping the body, the mind, the pelvic floor relaxed, as well as being able to circulate the sexual energy through the body. And when you're doing this rotational hip movement, it will open up the sacrum, open up this pump up the spine. So you will be literally pumping sexual energy through your body when you do this type of movement. And sex will become much more pleasurable, not just for you, but for your partner as well. For a woman, this type of stimulation, your pelvis will rub against her clitoral region and be incredibly pleasurable for her. It will add a whole new dimension of sexual stimulation. And for you, again, it will be most men are just used to this in-out type of sexual stimulation, which typically just overstimulates them to a quick ejaculation. This screwing motion, you slow it down a bit and it creates a very different stimulation. It's good for feeding your erection, for really pumping up your erection with all the stimulation of the different nerves of the penis. And again, it allows you to not just be building arousal through the friction of your genitals together, but allowing it to circulate the body through this spiraling movement. So you will be able to have much more endurance and pleasure threshold with this sexual movement. So practice just the movement by itself on your own, spend a few minutes a day doing this. Again, it's great just for your body in general and your health to do this exercise. And when you feel comfortable with it, surprise your partner by bringing it out during sex and they will love it. Enjoy. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're ready to go deep into sexual kung fu training, check out my 12-week course, Multi-Orgasmic Man. This is a complete guide for you to learn how to manage your sexual energy, open up the channels of your body so that you can redirect this energy through your whole body, experiencing full body, non-ejaculatory orgasms and lasting for hours in bed. Find more information in the description of this video. Please subscribe to my channel, give this video a like, and leave a comment below. Have a great day, my friends.